Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a game between Millennium's Adele Scott, who's playing against Property's Bobson, and this is a PvT. And well, Team Property gotta be up there as one of my favourite teams. They're just really cool guys. I've had some cool chats with them. They're pretty awesome. Of course, Adele Scott I've cast before, a brilliant Protoss player, and basically I can't wait to see how this is going to go off. It's a ladder game. It's not best of 3 or anything, it's just a best of 1 ladder game. I've had it sitting in my folder of games to cast for about 2 weeks now, so I really apologise that it's been a while, but I've just been so busy casting IPL 5 Korean qualifier games and Antec Attack games, Zotac Cup games, as well as just random ladder matches. It gets so much that you try and get them all up, and it's just so difficult. So do let me know in the comments section, guys, what sort of games do you like most? Do you like random ladder games like this? Do you like the bigger tournament best of 3, best of 5 games? Let me know, because ultimately then I can do it. Also, what's your favourite matchup? Do you like PvTs? Do you like TVTs, PvPs, ZVZs, ZVPs, or ZVTs? I think that was all of them. If I missed one, I'm going to be disappointed in myself. But anyway, what can we expect from these two players? Well, fairly standard opening from both of them. And obviously, being a PvT game, you tend to see both players hang on one base a little bit longer than you may. Obviously, because you want to try and put on some pressure, but it's not as bad as you see in some matchups. I mean, PvP very rarely see expansions. More so now, but there was a point where you never saw an expansion. But I have to admit, PvT, it's not that expansion heavy because there's pressure that can come on very, very early while building an economy behind it, and essentially that just means you need to be prepared. And really, let's think of it from Bobson's point of view. He's going to get off stim really relatively early because that does allow him to really destroy gateway units. Now, actually, I said you don't see that many expansions, but I almost guarantee that Bobson is going to go for a command center, a 1-rack command center build now, because his minerals are getting high, he's not taking any gas, and he's up to 400 minerals, so that's exactly what's going to happen. So really, don't take anything I say for granted. These players are sometimes going to do risky things as opposed to doing pressure, and really Bobson on this map, it's probably quite correct going for this. I'm no Terran expert by any means, but the rush distance is super huge. He's had a good scout off of what's going down. I mean, my only concern would be the fact that there's this one assimilator, which can result in it being 3-gate pressure, 3-gate robo, anything like that, or basically it's typically I'm getting key tech and I'm going to put on some pain. If the second gas was there, it was obviously tech heavy, no gas expansion heavy. But here comes down the first gas for Bobson, the second gas as well on its way, and the second barracks coming in now. It's a usual follow up to a 1-rack command center, it's 2 additional racks. That allows you to get either a double tech lab for combat shield and stim, or to get 2 reactors and a tech lab to basically get you stim out, because stim, it wrecks gateway units, and literally it's as if I speak a strange language, but there goes down a relatively normally timed expansion out of Adele here, so I'm not going to be putting on too much pressure. This Stalker and Zella will probably wander over, and well, that second gas was cancelled initially, and now the SCV's gone though, it's going to go down, so obviously that's just faking Bobson into what could be happening. So this is all pretty damn simple. There we go with a reactor actually on that barracks, not a tech lab. That basically means more Marines coming out early, but key tech delayed, and obviously delaying stim is a bit of a risk. It means you've got more units out to deal with immediate threats, but later threats could cause more of a problem, and really that's the sacrifice you make. By delaying tech, you're probably better off short term, but long term you're worse off, and that's what you've always got to think about is, can I risk getting more tech sooner? And that's really what you need to summarize in whatever build you're going for. Anyway, 2 more gateways on the way down. The sentry count is getting up, so there'll be some nice force fields to cut any push in half. And now these gases are coming down, everything's good. If we look at the worker count, slightly in Adele Scott's favour, but of course once you add 2 mules into the equation, it does actually go in Bobson's favour. We do have a factory coming down now, and it'll be interesting to see what comes off that. There comes stim, so it is on its way, because obviously it's essential for dealing with gateway units. Now, the factory can obviously be for tanks, but I usually assume the Terran players will go infantry heavy against Protoss just because it's so effective. These two sentries, they're starting to move across the map, but they're not going to be able to do anything with so much in terms of infantry here. The Marauder numbers, well, going to start creeping higher now. We do have out an engineering bay. That's a good sign that we're going to see lots of upgrades, but only one at the moment, no double upgrades coming out yet. We do have a pylon on its way. We do have more units getting warped in, and a third base coming out by Adele. That is a really early third base timing. And the big concern, obviously, now for Adele is if pressure's coming. But obviously, Bobson is aware that these pylons are going down. He's building a second bunker, so he's getting into a very defensive position. Here comes down the starport and the reactor, so that'll switch for increased medevac production. And of course, also caters itself to later game if Colossi come out, where you do need those Vikings to deal with them. You get 2 at a time and quickly become effective. A third bunker even coming out now for Bobson. So is this going to be a big 2-base play? Is he just being very, very cautious? Adele Scott, well, we have more gateways on their way out. We do have that third base on its way. But to be honest, this is just really as economical as you can go. The double forge is there, so double upgrades are going to be an option. We do just still have more infantry on its way. Third gas coming out for Bobson as well. And to be honest, this is a very, very defensive position. The factory moving forward, and now this push has pulled all of the SCVs and mules back, and actually some great force fields there by Adele. Going to get quite a few free SCV kills, and that is really, really nice. Slightly unfortunate for Bobson, but 8 SCVs getting knocked out there is pretty significant. And now even if you take mules in at being 5 workers each, it still puts Adele ahead in terms of economy. That factory moving forward just to prevent good arcs on these bunkers, and a very defensive position by Bobson. And in my opinion, I'm not sure if that's I'd say that's pretty overcommitted in terms of defense, because this force isn't huge. It's a big sentry number, but obviously this is just preventing Bobson from expanding. He's panic building a lot of units, also getting a lot of bunkers up, and behind this obviously Adele is building a base. So this is kind of a cornerstone of StarCraft's strategy. Put on pressure, expand behind. Put on pressure, expand behind. That means that you're preventing them getting a good economy while getting a good economy of your own and dominating the map. But now, of course, the concern is Bobson can counter push. This is the only threat. You've got to make that economy work for you. You've got to be ready to deal with your opponent saying, well, I just held off your push easily. You've probably expanded behind this, and I've got lots of stuff. And this is exactly where Stim can be a nightmare. Even though those force fields were complete money, well, there's a lot of units getting through, but just so many force fields going down. This is absolutely insane. That's just great force fielding everywhere, but still, lots of units are falling. Some Stims forward, wants to get as many sentries as possible. Sentries, very expensive units. The medevac will heal up these units, and if we look at the loss tab, it's now very, very equal. Only just over 100 mineral resources different in terms of units lost. And now the robotics facilities out, this will help. More gateways being added on, a lot more gateways. That's going to take him up to 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gates off of 3 bases is more than doable. And of course, now Adele Scott's production is going to go through the roof. The 1-1 upgrades are going to get done. But the concern is obviously Bobson's own production is starting to gear up. He's getting those medevacs out. He's got the key upgrades. He's got the stim. He's got the concussive shells. Now he's getting that combat shield. And this is a big triple drop into the main. And none of the units are anywhere close. And there's a long walk back. And well, this could do an awful lot of damage. The photon cannon is down. That gets instantly vaporized. All of these units are getting pulled. But well, can the Nexus go down before anything? Very, very possible with Stim. The Stim, the Marauders there, and the mains Nexus does fall. And will Bobson try and keep on the pressure, or will he just pick up and pull out? Who knows? But for the moment, it looks like he is going to try and keep the pain. He's in a great position. Force fields won't help. It's up to Adele to engage. All the sentries getting picked off, and this Stim is absolutely fantastic. And while there are more warp-ins coming down, this is getting cleaned up so well. Bobson is up at about 20 supply now, and while 2 medevacs full of units did get picked off, an entire mining base is picked off for Adele then. But of course, here's one he built earlier just in case. And with all of these production facilities, to be honest, it's just really on the money. I mean, the work count's still higher for Adele. The units lost a lot worse for Adele at the moment, but to be honest, the big threat is if Adele is able to utilize that production. Only the 1-0 upgrades here for Bobson compared to 1-1, soon to be 2-2, comes out for Adele. And then you've got the upgrade advantage, you've got the production advantage, and really, unless of course this command center can land sometime soon, you're going to have the base advantage, which doesn't really bode well. But if we look at the army tab, a lot more army supply for Bobson right now. 25 army for Adele compared to 66 for our Terran buddy. And that's going to be pretty tough to deal with if he just decides to go and attack. The big problem, the big thing missing from Adele's army is splash damage, AoE damage. That's what these Templar archives are going to be for. But to be honest, are they going to be too late? Because this is a lot of medevacs, it's a lot of infantry, and they are moving forward. This third base looking very vulnerable all of a sudden. And while units are creeping out, there's 3 sentries and a single immortal and only a handful of zealots. And, well, this third base is just getting vaporized. It's going down, and this is a big commitment by Bobson. But he feels like he can take it. He's now effectively knocked Adele down to 2 mining bases at the moment. A great pickup to drop behind those force fields. The zealots can't engage. That is definitely helping Bobson so well, who does need to now run away. With only a handful of stalkers, those medevac numbers aren't going to go much lower. 1 marine stopped just to allow the rest of this force to retreat. So good work, marine there. We do have ghosts on the way out. I don't know if a scan went down to see the Templar archives. If we take a look at the vision, no. So bit of an assumption getting those ghosts, but there's the robotics bay as well. So we're going to see High Templar. We're also going to see Colossi. There's lots of options available to Adele now, but this force is getting really, really scary, and as long as Bobson keeps on the pressure, he's going to be in an awesome spot. Now, did I hear something go down? I don't know. But one SCV coming forward. I'm sure I flicked over to some aggression going down somewhere, but the third base up for Bobson now, and of course that now means he is a base up. This 4th command center is done, which is an orbital command, and is now floating down to take a 4th base. He's about to get 2 bases up. The one thing he needs to be careful of, though, is getting a lot of production now, and this is exactly what these additional starports are going to do. The Ghost Academy is there, ghosts are coming out, EMP's so potent against shields, and obviously High Templar, and the extra starports will allow good Viking production. And to be honest, if we look at the units lost tab, well, resources lost wise, obviously Adele coming out quite a bit worse there, about 1,500 resources worse. And obviously having a lower income right now, by what I'd imagine is quite considerable, very considerable, almost 1,000 minerals a minute less, and about 200 gas a minute less, that's going to have a big effect. And, well, Bobson is really showing that in terms of supply. I feel he's going to really dominate now, but of course the upgrade advantage is there currently for Adele. He's got 3-3 on the way, and of course Bobson just only about to finish up 2-2, so there will be equal upgrades for a while. And if this pushes time well, it could be very, very effective. The splash damage is still insanely low. 1 Colossi is out. High Templar are there. Storm is done. But most of these High Templar are back. And this is all going to come down to have to be amazing defense by Adele. And when this does engage, it could be big. If this third base is picked off again, it really is the nail in the coffin. Bobson is already up to 195 supply. Will max out very shortly, getting those Vikings out. The Vikings will probably start moving across the map. We do have missile charges going up everywhere for detection. And Bobson is in such a dominating position. But here we go with an engagement. And these pylons are actually hindering Adele moving across. And these zealots are getting cleaned up so well. I mean, if we just look at this engagement, the force fields are on their way. The Colossi is up, and that's dealing an awful lot of damage, but no storms as of yet. But those force fields are counterproductive now that everything in front's taken out, because the zealots can't engage, and Bobson is just pushing forward, and just 1 Colossi isn't enough. The High Templar have gone down, and, well, now these Vikings are coming in. How long will that Colossi last? Not very long. It will have to retreat, and, well, to be honest, Bobson is 100 supply ahead now, pretty much. Over 100 supply ahead now. The Colossi is coming in, but that gets instantly vaporized, and that is good game. And Adele calls it just as I do, and that was beautiful play by Bobson. So if you did enjoy that game, please give it a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. Subscribe if you like my cast. New games up every single day of the week. Leave a comment. That'd be sweet. Tell me if you like best of 1s, best of 3s, etc. And, well, follow me on Twitter. That'd be cool. But most importantly, I hope you did enjoy, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.